Greetings. This is Adam Rafferty, funky fingerstyle guitar player from New York City. And in this series of lessons, I'm going to teach you how to play my arrangement of the song Affirmation. I first heard this song from the George Benson record Breezin'. I used to have the LP, and I think maybe I still do somewhere. That came out in 1976. However, the song is composed by Jose Feliciano. And if you're old enough, maybe you know the TV show Chico and the Man that was on in the 70s and 80s. He sang the theme on that. Maybe he even composed that. I don't know. Jose Feliciano is also famous for Feliz Navidad, and he is just an outstanding guitar player. He's kind of a secret, so I suggest looking him up on YouTube. It was from, I'm looking on my cheat sheet, it was from Jose Feliciano's LP Just Wanna Rock and Roll in 1975, and he plays it on nylon string. It's almost kind of a precursor to the Gypsy Kings kind of pop nylon string kind of sound. Really nice stuff. Now, I'm going to just go over a couple basics on the song in this lesson. The form is a little bit strange the way I do it. I learned it from a real book, which is a book that used to have illegal copies that you'd have to buy in New York City. It was the original internet piracy before there was internet. So the form on this is there's a 16-bar section with a first ending. Then there's a 16-bar section with a second ending. And then there is an 8-bar bridge, or a B section, I should say. It's not a bridge, that goes to a completely different key for some refreshing harmony. And then it flips on itself. So it's kind of a funny form. It's 16, 16, and 8. Now, the original recording doesn't stick to that. It sounds more or less like that B section with the change of key could have been on cue, or maybe, musicians looking at each other in the studio. Now we'll just give it some space. So, but the minute you have a tune like that, that becomes a little bit of a standard for musicians to play together. Usually there comes a version with a structure that you can rely on. So that's kind of the structure I use, 16, 16, and 8. Okay, now there's a real simple groove that will help you get your bearings in this. And I don't know if you've ever heard of a clave groove. In Latin jazz and Latin music, there's a thing called a clave, meaning it's the key to the rhythm. And so I'm not going to show you everything about claves because I don't know everything about claves, but let's sing a 3-2 clave for a minute. There's a group of 3 hits and then a group of 2 hits. So let me just sing that for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, boom, boom. Bap, bap. 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 So that's kind of like going 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Bang, bang, bang. Chicka, bum, bum. Now, if I snap my finger on 2 and 4, it suddenly turns into something that sounds like funk. So watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, boom, boom. Chicka, bap, bap. Boom, boom, boom. Chicka, bap, bap. Boom, boom, boom. Chicka, bap, bap. Okay? So that is kind of the basis around which all the bass notes, all the melodies and harmonies, that's kind of the thing that I always come back to when I play this one. Boom, 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 bap, bap. And believe it or not, ABBA's Dancing Queen is the same kind of groove, although we don't think of it that way. Lots of tunes are. Okay, so one last thing, and I'll try not to go on too long because, you're going to have the split cams. You're going to be looking at my hands. You're going to see me doing something a little bit odd with my right hand. Okay? For the last 2 years, I have been playing with bare fingers, no thumb pick, no fingernails, no nothing. And in the last couple of months, I've been reviewing my sound and my technique, and I've started using a flat pick. I'm not saying that this is better. I'm not saying it's worse, and I'm not recommending that you do it at all unless it's comfortable for you. Real quick, I still can't seem to get comfortable 100% with a thumb pick. It still feels artificial. I practice it every day. And, I did so many years of playing with this little flat pick. Now I have a pretty heavy one. So many years that it's like it's a part of my body. So, for example, I told you we need this rhythm. I'm just going to do this with my thumb now. If you'll notice, my hand started really coming out and my wrist started coming forward because I wanted to get more of a point on the sound. And with the flat pick, the point is right there. Okay. Now, on a video recording or on a home recording, the thumb might sound real nice, meaty, thumpy, warm. But once I'm on a stage and there's a big concert hall and maybe some reverb, the lows and the mids can get very warbly and woofy. And so that's the solution du jour. I'm still evolving. So what I'm going to do in this lesson, I'm going to show you how I recorded it, because chances are you play with your fingers or a thumb pick. So I'm going to show you all of that, and then I'll also show you, when there's an alternate, how I do it with a flat pick. Either way, no matter how you choose to do it, just get comfortable with the bottom end of your guitar doing boom, 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 so that you feel good inside, so that it agrees with your body and your musical sensibility. You please do not copy my hand position. I have tried fruitlessly to copy the hand positions of everybody from John Williams, Alexandre Lagoya, right on up to Tommy Emmanuel to try to figure out how he's thumb picking. And you know what? None of it feels right. I always come back to what feels right for me. So I suggest that you listen to your tone, go with your gut, and just listen to your inner groove and your intuition as to what feels right. Okay, enough blah, blah. Let's get started with the intro for Affirmation. Alrighty, let's take a look at the intro for Affirmation. Basically, the intro for Affirmation is the first two phrases of the song played rubato. So what I do is I'll use a lot of open strings, harmonics, and try to get as many colors as I can get out of the guitar to set up this nice atmosphere. And then when the A section kicks in, we come in with the groove. Now I'm going to play this just for simplicity's sake, so you can follow a little better. I'm going to play this with bare fingers on the right hand. But when I play it live, I might use a flat pick. Okay, now before I play it, I'd like to just sing you the phrase so that we don't get caught up in the fingerings right away. We start in the key of B minor, but we're starting on a 4 chord, an E minor, okay? And the melody goes ba 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 ba, and then B minor ba 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 ba. Okay, I'm not very warmed up, not really singing that in tune. But anyway, and then the second phrase is the same. Ba 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 ba. Okay, now I'm going to show you melodically how to play that on the guitar. I start with a harmonic A at the 12th fret, then open string B. Now watch this. So I'm playing 6th fret, 3rd fret, open string. You can also do that with your 3rd finger if you like. And so on the right hand, it's actually very handy if you are using your fingers. You can plant your thumb on the A string, have your IMA fingers on the top strings and just, or nearby I should say, and middle finger, index, middle, ring. That's on the right hand. Okay? Because that sounds a little dreamier and more exciting than just a scale, even though it's the same notes. And then I do this nice, lush sounding voicing for E minor 9. And then a B. So I'm fretting 3 notes, then open, open, 1st finger. Okay, so here's what it's going to sound like. Nice. Now watch. Now watch what I do. I slide with the pinky, and then I play this chord. Watch this. Okay, so I've got pinky, 1st finger, open G, and then an F sharp. And now over here, with the tip of my 2nd finger, I'm barely touching the A string so that it mutes it, so that we don't have a ringing open A string. Now this is an E minor 9 chord. Okay. Okay. Now, the melody is actually just bum, bum, bum at that point. But I do these little slurs. I go, just because it makes it sound lyrical. It's just a decoration that I do. Same thing. Okay, then now watch this. Just 2 fingers, 5th string, 3rd string. Now this is B minor. Okay. Now watch. I go up to the 7th fret and I go. Let me play that slowly for you. Going up a B minor 7 chord. Slide. Hammer. And then an open B. And I go basically so that I can let go with my left hand and still have something ringing. Okay. I hope that wasn't too fast for you. I'm going to just play it now slowly so that you can follow it, and it's that phrase twice. Exact same thing. Okay? Here we go. Intro. Ooh, I forgot something. Sorry, my mistake. It's almost the exact same phrase twice. Let me show you the difference. Boom, 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 boom. This is the second time. Now watch. Okay. So the second time, my apologies. Ba 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 bam ba boo bam 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 boo ba after the A. Ba 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 bam ba. Okay. How about I play that for you one more time? Okay. Here we go. Here we go. So I'm going 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then we just let that hang in the air, and then we're going to come in with the groove. Same musical information, but just the groove comes in. Okay, so that's the intro. Let's go to the next video and start learning the tune. All right. All righty, so let's start looking at the tune when the groove kicks in. This is going to be the first 4 bars of the A section. And so this is, I'm going to show you 2 different ways of playing this first 4 bars. And we're going to start with the bare finger way. And actually this way has a lot more possibilities with very nice chord voicings. Let me explain to you the arranging idea, and then we'll get down to the nitty-gritty of where the fingers go. Now, as you know, we've got the melody. I'm going to go a little slower. 1, 2, 3. Right? Okay, so let's just do that much. And so the main idea with whatever technique you do is that we're going to try to get that kind of rhythm under. And even if we leave the middle one out, if we go, we might leave the middle one of those 3 out. So that's the E minor. And then it's going to go to B minor. Remember, we're in the key of B minor, so we're going from a 4 chord to a 1 chord. So let's just listen to the top voice and the bottom. Okay. Next, what we're going to try to do is hook chords onto those top notes to fill it in a little bit. Okay, so that's the idea of the arrangement. Now I'm going to show you with the bare fingers how I played it for many months. Okay, so we're going to start here in 2nd position. First note is A, and we're going to hammer this one. That's very important. Okay, it's very important to the phrasing. And then open E, and you're going to keep the D down. Sorry, I went a little bit fast there. Okay, now the chord we're going to play, watch this. Now, you see this 4 on your tablature screen, on the screen. I'm playing. These notes don't get equal value. What I'm doing is I'm doing this 4 because if we hit it with a finger, because I'm playing kind of like a bass player, it'll sound nice, but I'm using the tip of the 3rd finger to mute the A string. Usually, I'm just getting the top 3 strings. Okay? So now let me show you the chords I'm doing. Lifting up, bum, 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 and then up to the 5th position. Okay? And then down to, this looks like a D minor, but it's up at the 3rd fret, so it's an E minor. Let me show you a trick. Let me show you a trick that I do here when I switch positions. I allow the 1st and 4th finger to be a guide because these strings don't make a squeak. I lift that 3rd finger off, and then I put the 2nd finger down because I was getting a terrible squeak on the G string. I'll see if I can do the squeak. Hear that? But if I just go on the top strings, I guess I've practiced that. I can coordinate the lifting and then the putting it back down. Okay. Then now you can try to do the bum bum ba da in the bass, or you can just go bum bum ba bum bum ba bum bam bam ba bam. Okay. It's going to take you some practice to get that move. I know. Believe me, I've really practiced this quite a lot. So if I were to do the bump, bump, bum, all 3 notes, it would be. And you'll notice I'm just brushing these fingers. I'm not doing like a. Now you can do it like that if you want, but somehow I wanted the articulation to be exactly in time, and I can achieve that better if I play like an electric bass player, where I'm really just popping that one note where I want. So the harmony notes are kind of just an add-on to the melody. Now this is a B minor 7 voicing. If I can get all top 3 strings, great. If I can only get the melody, that's okay. Okay. And I actually switch down to the 5th of the chord in the bass. Okay. Let me show you another trick that I like to do. And I don't know if this helps, but it's something that where I try to make the top and bottom sound a little separate from the middle. Let's say I'm playing those notes. I'll play the middle, and then I'll just let the middle ring. I won't play it again. See, so we have this ba ringing all the way through, rather than the same chord texture being attacked. See that? Okay, then go on 4th fret, 7th fret. If that's too tricky for you, because playing with the pinky with accuracy is tricky, you can go. You could try that, but I don't get the rhythmic phrasing that I like. Another thing you could do is slide. You could try sliding. Okay, but I like to do. And then. Okay, so you can't see this on the tablature. After you do this riff, you're gonna set up this chord on the left hand with the A already down. Actually, I sometimes I switch to the fifth of the chord. You in the tablature on the screen, I just go, oops. I think I articulate the bass differently if I'm hybrid picking. I'm going to play this for you real slow, okay? Bang, chicka, bang, 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 chicka, chicka, baba da bam, ba da bam. Okay, so that leads to phrase 2, which has a slightly different fingering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here, and in the next video, I'm going to show you how I play this phrase with a flat pick. If you're not interested in seeing how I do it with a flat pick, my feelings will not be hurt. You can skip over the next lesson, but there may be some musical information in there that inspires you. So next lesson is going to be same musical part of this song with the flat pick, hybrid picking. Okay. All right, welcome back. In this lesson, I'm going to show you a fingering with the right hand, how I've been playing this live, the first 4 bars of Affirmation, with hybrid picking. And as I said, the reason is that it gives me a feeling of greater confidence in the bass. And that's what's happening today. This could change in a week. I'm always evolving and developing just like you are. So here we go. Because there are different possibilities with the right hand and different limitations, the entire left hand fingering also changes. Okay. So for this, I don't really use quite as many chord voicings, but I get sort of a little bit closer to the feel of like a jazz guitar. Here we go. So I'm using, when I do this hybrid, I'm using primarily a pick and the second and third finger. And I don't really have a system yet, but I try to it's just trial and error. Which finger feels better for certain things? Sometimes the middle finger, sometimes the ring finger. Believe it or not, the ring finger, I can get a really nice sound out of it. And one has to be careful to not be in this kind of a position and maybe clawing. It's almost like the hand is closed. Oh, it's very similar to what I do if I was just using bare fingers. So anyway, here we go. I start on the A, right? Now, instead of playing the open E, I don't do that. I slide. Now, this note gets kind of lost because then I go. So this first E is not really as clear as I'd like, but still we hear the phrase. We hear we hear it going by because of the momentum. So if I slow it down, you'll hear that it's a little squishy. Okay, and I play low E with that. See? Okay. Now watch, I go to because in my right hand I'm kind of oriented, my middle finger knows where that second string is. I go, except I play the E real short. go bam, bang. Okay. See, that's a downstroke. See, even there, now it's comfortable to do that with my ring finger. I'm switching to avoid finger fatigue. Okay. Then when I come back, I play this voicing, and my second and third finger are on the first and third string. Okay? That way I'm kind of, by virtue of the fact that the third finger is brushing, I'm getting the top two strings, and I'm getting third and fourth string. So with two fingers, we're hearing four strings. Okay, so I go, and then I'm still there in this position. Here's a cool thing you can do with a flat pick that I wouldn't necessarily do with a thumb pick when I got to go bum, bum. I can grab a melody note sometimes as a real light upstroke. See how I did that? Same thing, except I go boom, bam, with the flat pick. Let me do this for you slowly now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now look here. I'm doing second and third finger, but then switching to the middle. Okay, so that's phrase 1. And like I said, I'm going to keep sounding like a broken record. This is a highly personal way of doing things. I would not open a guitar school and make everybody play hybrid picking. I think there's a real beauty to the fingers and a beauty to fingernails and a beauty to the thumb pick, but this is what's working for me right now. Let's now take a look at phrase 2, bars 5 through 8, where it goes to the higher notes, just like I showed you in the intro. And I'm going to also do it with fingers and with the flat pick. All right, let's go. All righty, we are back. And in this lesson section, I'm going to show you how to play phrase 2 of Affirmation. It's very similar to phrase 1, except there's a slightly tricky high melody left-hand fingering, and I'm going to show you how I get around that melody. Okay, so I'm going to start off bare fingers on the right hand, if you choose to play like this. Okay, so this is going to look a lot like phrase 1 now. Here we go. Now watch. Slide up to the 7th fret. Now watch what we're going to do. And I'm kind of starting to bar my first finger to mute strings. I'm not really pushing down. I'm going 2, 4, then slide down a fret, 2, 3. Okay. And then your first finger is set up. You're going to play the B down on the 7th fret, 6th string, and the open E string. See? Okay. Now when I'm going with a heavier groove and a faster tempo, I sometimes do that as a backstrike. fact, it doesn't usually come out, but I keep trying to get it to come out. So I would probably suggest plucking it like that. Okay, so now you can go ba, ba. You can just leave, play 2 E's there, and then come down to B minor. I'm playing F sharp in the bass. Or you can go, if you want more bump, bump, bump in the bass. Then, now something that I like to do, let's look at the last phrase when it goes blah, blah, ba, da. See what I just did with the bass? I played right on 3 and 4. 1, 2, ready, and. Because it just, sometimes it's nice amidst all these syncopations to just play something right on the beat and simplify the arrangement instead of everything being part of some clave or syncopation. Okay, now with the fingers, I'm going to play the first 2 phrases for you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now with all due fairness, I see that I just played. So I went 2, 4, 1, 2. So that is also a legal fingering. Since I grabbed that, since that just flew out of the subconscious, it means that that might even be a better fingering. So. Okay, like I said, these fingerings change from gig to gig. They're sort of stored in my RAM, if my brain was a computer. And so there are certain things that change depending on how fingers are feeling, how the sound system is feeling. But that's one of them. And that might actually be a more direct way to do it for you. Okay, 2, 4, 1, 2. If the 2, 4 gives you trouble, I'd love to tell you that there's another way. Down here, I couldn't seem to get the phrasing right. That's another possibility. If this gives you trouble, maybe you could just slide up to that A if you needed to. You can try sliding up with the 3rd or 4th finger. Okay. I'm just trying to show you, be creative and get the sound out of the guitar, and don't be afraid to experiment with fingerings. Okay, so we're about 6 minutes deep in this section. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make another little sort of auxiliary lesson following this one on how I play this exact phrase with the flat pick and doing hybrid picking. Again, if you're not hybrid picking and if you're not interested, you may skip the next lesson and hop one lesson past the next. All right. God bless. All righty, we are once again at phrase 2 of the song, bars 5 through 8 of Affirmation. And I'm going to show you how I get around this if I'm doing the hybrid with the flat pick. Okay, so and there's a kind of a cool little bass rhythm that you can grab with the flat pick a little bit more easily than with the thumb. So I'm going to point that out to you. Okay, so here we are. 1, Okay, and I'd like to add that this slide, I don't really stop there when I'm playing it. It's sort of like that slide is very careless. Okay, so I don't want you to feel like you have to stop there and then do that, okay? Be sloppy. So here we go. Now check that out. I want you to see the rhythm that I did there. I went, see that last bass note that I got? Ba ba boo de ba. That's a cool little spot. Blah blah bang. If you can get that, it's a neat thing that you can get. So that one is straight. I'm going bum bum bum. See what I just did there? I anticipated, or I syncopated, or I don't know. I did something. Then, after the second time, I believe that when I'm doing this in real life, I go with upstroke with a flat pick. Okay. Getting the outer strings with the flat pick is pretty easy if you're a flat picker. Down, up, down, up. Now I only play the outer strings, and I'm using my ring finger. And if you learn, if you do a little searching and you're interested in this approach, you'll find the way that you can grab those without, doing some crazy thing with your hand. So that you can stay relaxed as possible. So I'm going bum, bum. Outer strings, then the second, third, and fifth. Okay. Then here I play all of those as a group. Then middle pick. And then I'm just going bum, bum on beats 3 and 4. I'm going to play this extra slow for you now so that you can really see where all these things fall in time. Okay? 1, 2, 3. And so that's phrase 2. And like I said, if you've, for example, if you've ever played rock and roll and you've played with distortion, and you played something like, but you've muted and that sort of, if you know that feeling of a bloop, bloop, bloop from a pick, you'll understand why I'm doing this for the bass. In these last bunch of lessons, we've covered the first 8 bars of music with 2 different technical approaches. Let's keep going. Let's look at the bars 9 through 16 and the first ending of the A section. All right. Alrighty, so we are at the sort of second half of the A section now. Until now, we've done 2 phrases of ba do ba do ba da bum ba da bum ba bum 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 ba da 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 ba 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 da ba ba do ba do da ba da 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 ba ba da ba 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 do ba da ba ba do ba 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 da. Now we're going to come to a point where we descend through some jazzy chord changes. And actually, we're going to kind of worm our way to the key of D. Just in case you're curious, we started in B minor, but now it kind of shifts and starts sounding a little bit more like D major for you theory nerds out there. Okay, so we're going to start on a B minor voicing with an E melody note. I play it like this. Now, from this point on, I'm going to use the flat pick. If you know, just follow the music, you can easily do the translation yourself, as you see in the right hand. It doesn't really matter which technique you use, just use the one that feels right. I will show you any particulars that I'm doing, such as right now I'm playing the third and the first string like that, okay? Look at the syncopation that I'm doing. See? D by itself, then bass note. So the rhythm is 1, 2, 2, ready, and now watch. Okay, I grab the melody note there, basically so that E can ring a little bit. See how that E is still, always makes it sound a little bit dreamier and lusher to have notes ringing. Okay? Then I use, on the right hand, I'm using my A finger, third finger, and I tend to grab this G over the top of the neck. By no means do you have to do that, or do I even recommend doing it. You could just as easily do it with the third finger. Because I know that thumb over the top is problematic for many of you. Okay. Let me play that for you one more time. Ready? And so I do this little fill there, just to fill up, just to fill up something. Let me play that rhythm for you one time. 1, 2, 3, and. Now don't get hung up on that exact riff. Just try to feel the beat underneath you and fill something in there. You can even use those notes and make your own thing up. Okay? Now we have the same kind of scale going up. Ooh, I'm going to have to show you two different ways to do this. I'll show you the bare fingers way first, because these are really two different fingerings. Now that rhythm is slightly different. I'm not going, I'm going, ooh, bum, 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 2, 3, bum, 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 2, 3, bum, 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 ba da ba da, bum, bum, ba da ba da, and the last note is hammered. So watch how I do that. There's a real nice way to do this with the bare fingers, but it affects the left hand. Hammer to your fourth finger, so you're set up on the D. And then I'm playing, and I'm hammering there with my second finger. And I let go. And then I'm playing an E7 with just the two fingers. And I put that down for the melody. Notice when I get off the pinky note when I'm striking that melody note. You know, but I tend not to leave this pinky down. It just sounds clear having some open strings. Okay. Now watch what I do. And then I get thumb over the neck on the A. I go bum, 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 bum. Now again, I have these long fingers. I can do these crazy fingerings. If you can't do that, you can use an open A string. Sorry. See? Now I'm just gonna, in this video, I'm gonna do this with the flat pick. This brings out a different left hand fingering, similar but different. So let's do it from, okay, bar 9 again. A 1, 2, ready, and. It's all the same. Now watch. Right, see? Okay. That's different from that we're not doing that. It just doesn't feel good with the second and third finger over here on the right hand to do that. So. Now, I leave some bass notes out. I just go bum. You notice I'm just going bum, 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 bam, bam. Sorry, bum, bum, bum. The melody comes slightly after the B. Now you can mess with all kinds of syncopations, but I find that by just cleaning it up, it makes it easier and more playable. Okay? And even if I'm just playing the third finger, I'll try to brush 3 strings. Now, there's this riff that happens at the end of this that George Benson plays, and it doesn't matter how you're doing it with the right hand. It's 3 times. Okay, 10th fret. I'm barring the top 2. Just hammering 2nd string, 10th to 12th. But you got to know the rhythmic placement, which I'll show you. 1, 2, ready, and. And then we're back at the top of an A section. I'm going to play bars 9 through 16 for you to that first ending with the high riff. And I'm going to play it nice and slow for you so you can sort of see all the moving parts and get the musical idea as well. Okay, so here we go. Boom, back, boom, boom, back, 1, 2, ready, and. the top of the second A section. Okay? That was just it. Alrighty, let's go to the next video where I'm going to show you the second ending, bars 9 through 16 once again. It's a lot of this material that we covered, just with a slightly different ending. All right. All right. So now let's take a look at bars 9 through 16, but with the second ending. And you'll find that you already know most of this. And so here we go. Okay, so we're going to start again on B minor 7. This is not a standard shape, but same way we started in the last video. Now you know all that already. Now watch what we're going to do. We're going to slide up to B on the high E string, and then I'm going to play a C. It's like a C. It's like a C7. We don't really play the 4th string, so I think of it as C7. And I like to anticipate that and then hit the bass right on 1. Okay, see what I do there? Sometimes I do that as a pull-off. Boom, bow, bow. Let me play that much for you. That's the first 4 bars. Let me play that nice and slow for you. Ready? A 1, a 2, a ready, and okay. Now we have 4 bars of new material. And just so you understand the chord progression first, this is what we call 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Sorry, let me rephrase that. 3, 6, 2, 5, 1 in D. So we're going to go F sharp minor, B minor, then not really E minor, but A sus, bum, 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 then to a D. Okay, it's sort of like 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. And if all that just sounds like theory junk, don't worry about it. Okay, so here we go. F sharp minor. Again, over here, I'm just playing that with an F sharp bass note. I'm not really, you see, I'm not playing a chord. Okay. You might be wondering why I'm playing these chords and I'm not going with standard guitar chords. I'm going, and the reason is, even though there's fewer notes in the chord, they're being treated as voices. And to my ear, because I was trained on voice leading, that gives a certain kind of satisfaction that a big, full sounding chord doesn't give. It's smoother. Okay, so, okay. Now here we go. This is one of my famous A sus chords. I usually grab it with the thumb over the top, but you can grab it with the open A. We're going to strum that. And then there's a riff that comes down. I'm going to play it for you fast once so that you can hear it in context, and then we'll break it down slowly. Okay? So slowly let go of the chord. Now watch, very important, 2 to 4, hammer, and I think maybe I do a pull off there. I'm not sure if I do a pull off or if I play it. But now, very important, you bar your first finger behind that second finger so you get a D chord. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. So I'm only playing my first and second finger, but I've got this D chord. And now watch, I go. I'm just kind of, we have to hang on that D chord for a little while. So I'm just adding a little motion on some inside voices, and I'm alternating between the root and the fifth and the bass to keep things afloat. Okay. The last melody note is ba 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 ba, and it's as if that is still ringing, and then all those other rumblings about is just to kind of keep things moving along. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play this second ending for you, bars 9 through 16, nice and slow. Here we go. Boom, boom, chicka, the bang, bang, chicka, chicka. 1, 2, ready, and. Okay, now you probably noticed in the music that you see on your screen when I play this, you see how there's 2 notes, and then those 2 notes, again, they're to illustrate that you're just brushing with fingers. That's not to be taken literally that they have to be plucked with 2 different fingers. I just want to show you that everything's kind of ringing along, and once again, that brushy sound of fingers going across more than one string is something for me that makes it sound breezy, which is appropriate since this was on an album called Breezin'. Okay, one more time, nice and slow, this section, bars 9 through 16 to the second ending. Ready? Boom, boom, chicka, boom, boom, chicka, chicka. 1, 2, y'all know what to do. And. And if you're going to do that with fingers, I like to do this. So I miss that when I'm holding the pick. I can't really get it with the other fingers. Okay. So let's go on to the next video where we do the B section of the song. We're going to go to the key of B flat. All right.